we're here today to talk about cruelty-free beauty. And with me, I have Emily Banks from Depths of Beauty. She's a professional makeup artist and spends a lot of time researching products that really work, that cause no suffering to ourselves and to the animals in the process. So I want to ask you, Emily, why do we even care about our makeup and cosmetics? Why should we be concerned that our mascara and shampoo could be a problem for our own health and for the well-being of animals?
Yeah, well, I guess just on a really basic level, anything that we put onto our skin is absorbed into our bloodstream within minutes. So it's proven that up to 60% of the ingredients in any product ends up in our bloodstream, and it's proven to be disrupting our hormones. It's proven to be, some of these ingredients are proven to be carcinogenic and also neurotoxic.
I know for myself, something that's very important is I can't feel beautiful if I know a product I've used has caused suffering to an animal. And I think a lot of people aren't aware that animal testing is still going on in the world, and even if in Australia the products don't get tested on animals here in our country, they can test overseas, and then they can sell them in our supermarkets and on our shelves here. So I really want to know, for people out there who don't want to be part of this, they don't want to be causing blindness in rabbits when they're putting on their foundation, how can they tell if their product has been tested on animals or not?
Yeah, well, look, it is actually quite tricky to tell if a product's been tested on an animal or not, unless it is, there's that little bunny logo from Choose Cruelty-Free. So you definitely want to be looking for that logo, because they're making sure that these brands aren't testing on animals. They're also making sure that not only in Australia, but they won't have any brand on, allow any brand to have the Choose Cruelty-Free logo if they're, let's say, selling to China. So if a brand in Australia is not testing on animals, but they're selling to China, China requires that every product that comes into their country tests on animals. So even if a brand's saying that they're cruelty-free here, if they're selling to China, they're actually still participating in animal cruelty. So there's a little bit of a misunderstanding around the word natural being used and the word and the word organic being used on products. Basically, the beauty industry is unregulated. So what that means is brands are allowed to self-regulate. So they're allowed to say natural on a product. They're even allowed to use the word organic on a product. Which makes it really confusing, right, for us consumers. Again, coming back to how you find the best natural, organic, ethical and cruelty-free products is to aim for the certified organic products that are cruelty-free and ethically made. And there's actually no natural brand that I represent myself, and I represent quite a few, that tests on animals. There's not one that I use that tests on animals.
Which is a big call. I personally think it's a stamp of approval then that these products are working as well as the other ones. Do you find that you've noticed a difference in that your work isn't as beautiful by using these products that aren't tested on animals?
Yeah, well, I think maybe a few years back, yes, and I think a lot of people may have tried to use natural beauty 5 or 10 years ago and they went, look, it just doesn't perform the same. We're really lucky to live in a time where there's been massive advancements with beauty products, and the natural organic world is like, I can wholeheartedly say I've been doing makeup for 8 years, and I actually started out as a mainstream makeup artist. And so I know what products are supposed to do. Switching over to natural, I was a bit dubious myself. I was like, oh, are these going to work? And they absolutely do. They're performing so beautifully, and they're also nourishing our skin. They're not testing on animals. And they're also, a lot of these brands have a lot more of an invested interest in the environment. So they're being made in recyclable packaging.
At the moment, Europe has banned testing on animals for cosmetics.
Amazing.
And they've banned the sale of it. Now, if all of Europe can do this, and you testify that it works just as well, there is absolutely no reason for other brands to still be testing on animals, and even to take it a step further, to be putting these toxic chemicals into their products. I just think it's an evolution really of what we're using for our cosmetics, and it's just a different way of thinking. And the other thing I think that's quite relevant is that these chemicals that are tested on the animals, we don't want to be putting them on our skin anyway. So these natural products are win-win, because they're not putting the harsh chemicals on our faces,
Yeah.
you know, in our hair. So they don't need to test it on the animal, you know, because it's actually good for us.
A lot of the animal testing that does actually occur, it only happens in a very short window. So they might they might shave the animals, they're testing these really harsh chemical new ingredients, they're putting them in their eyes, they're doing all these really horrible things, making them ingest them. And the testing period might only last for 3 months. Now, a big issue with cosmetics that we're wearing and putting on our bodies is the build-up over a long period of time.
Yeah. And the other thing is that there's a whole range of non-animal tests that are available for these companies. So they can grow human tissue in labs now, which is shown to be much more effective against if it's going to cause an irritation to us than it is on a rabbit.
Yeah.
So not that I encourage you to be wearing anything that is going to be causing irritation, but it's just really goes to show that it is completely unnecessary.
It's completely unnecessary on so many levels. It is really important for people to understand that just because you're going to be using an organic brand, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be more expensive. There's a range of price options with these products, and you can find brands that are going to be affordable and last the time, especially with oils. Oils have natural antibacterial properties that basically preserve them for a really long time. Yeah. So please know everyone that there's so many affordable options out there. It's just about finding the right stores that represent them and uncovering them. Yeah. And are there some stores that you can point people to? Look, there's actually so many stores now that stock that make sure that they're only stocking natural and organic and ethically made brands. So a couple that I work with, let's say for example, is Beautiful Because, there's Nourish Life, there's Be Naturally You, there's I Am Natural Store. There's actually so many online stores that you can go to and you can trust that whatever you find at that store they've done the work and the research. And I know this because I work quite closely with them, and they're not representing any brands that are doing us any damage whatsoever. So the more people buying products and saying we want something that's not going to hurt us, we want it natural, and we do not want to play any part in animal testing and causing this suffering, companies are going to pay attention and there's going to become more available on the market and the price is going to drop further and further. And that's how things change over time. And I think it's very important that you sort of think, what difference is it going to make if I just buy this lipstick and lip balm? It's really each of us. It's the only thing that makes a difference. Yeah, that's right. All of us combined making these choices is what does make the difference over time. And absolutely. I think if we see that Europe's done it, India's done it, Israel's done it, you know, there is talk in Australia, the Greens have introduced a bill that they want to make it cruelty-free here as well, where we cannot sell products that are tested on animals. Yeah. You know, it takes us using our voice and our purchase power. Absolutely. I think it really does come down to an awareness for a lot of people as well. On the packages, it's not telling you that they're blinding animals and that they're killing rats. That's, you know, that you may get cancer from wearing this over a period of 10 years. Yeah. There's nothing like that out there. So it really is about bringing about a conversation, about talking about it with your friends, about doing a little bit of research. Before you buy your brand, check it out on the internet. Is it being sold in China? I know for me, lots of my products, not lots, there were a few products I was using that I loved the brands and they decided to start selling in China, which then meant, okay, I'm going to change because I don't support that practice, and you know, it took me just looking into it a little bit. It just takes 5 minutes, and really that's all it is. And there's a great worldwide campaign right now, and hashtag Be Cruelty-Free, and it's going global. You know, and we want to get on the bandwagon. Absolutely, but please don't trust. Unfortunately, we just can't trust what brands are saying because it's not regulated. No, that's right. I mean, there's a whole bunch of big brands that you wouldn't really consider, you know, being an issue, but I know Revlon, Head and Shoulders, Max Factor, you know, I can list a very extensive list of companies that are testing on animals that are full of stuff that is going to be irritating your skin rather than actually making you beautiful.